Hello you beautiful people, I hope you all are having an amazing beautiful day, and in this video I want to talk about some of my favorite setups that I like to use for PvP. I use these setups both in normal Crucible, in the competitive playlist, anywhere. For me personally, it's about having fun above all, right? Like if I don't enjoy the setup just because somebody is saying this is good or that, like if you put in the time, if you put in hours, you will be good with weapons that are not like 99% of the time meta. And as you will see right here, 2 out of 3 of these setups are not meta. Like you won't see a lot of people running around with these setups. There is one that uses Revoker in it, but that's pretty much it. But anyway, let's take a look at these setups and I hope you guys try them out. I hope you guys enjoy them as much as I do. Let's not waste time and take a look. Now, I'm not gonna start with the supers and all that. I will go over those at the end. First, I wanna go over the weapons I like to use for the setups, right? As you can see right here, when I wanna snipe, my choice is 90% of the time, it's gonna be the Revoker. Now, sometimes I do go with Alone as a God because I feel like that is an amazing sniper rifle, but as mentioned, most of the time Revoker is my choice because it's just overall a really beautiful sniper, and the perk on it, Reversal of Fortune, is just amazing. And the fact that it's super handy, especially in the competitive or elimination, makes it even better. So this is my choice for the kinetic slot when I want to snipe. Now in the energy slot, I use Traveler's Judgment. I do have Last Hope with multi-kill clip, but for me, this one just feels better. I also have way more range on this one, as you can see right here, and I have some really good perks, Feeding Frenzy, Head Seeker, and it just works perfectly. Now the reason I don't like to use hand cannons in this slot, for me, it's because, the hand cannons don't really do much against rushers, especially against people that are coming in with shotguns, and these ones, ladies and gents, let me tell you, these sidearms absolutely melt them. The only thing is, you don't really have a mid-range game, but then again, you can take him out from far, then you can, or maybe get a body shot and you can push in with the sidearms that have, especially this one, has a lot of range and does a lot of damage. And when it comes to the heavy slot, I'm gonna tell you guys a secret, and I feel like 99% of the super sweaty players don't know this. There's actually more than one heavy exotic in the game. Yeah, it's not only Warcliffe. Don't tell him. So, I get to use Legend of Acreus. Sometimes I go for Two-Tailed Fox. Just in general, just swap weapons around, have fun. And for the people that don't know, Revoker, you have to grab a quest from Shax and you have to get sniper kills in the Crucible. Kills in the competitive give you more progress. And as for the Traveler's Judgment, I picked up the time lost quests for the Traveler's Judgment, grinded them out as much as possible until I got this really beautiful roll. And yeah, so if you want these two, that's how you get them. Now, for some of you that have been following this channel for some time now, this is not a surprise, okay? You guys know I'm the Bowmaster, so this is my favorite setup right here. And let me tell you, ladies and gents, the setup is deadly in the right hands. Some people are like, no, it's not so good. It's not good and competitive. No. Don't say that. This is one beautiful bow, and this is one beautiful setup. All you need to do, ladies and gents, is put in the time, get better with this, and let me tell you, really soon, you're gonna be piercing skulls with the arrows, okay? Trust me on that. I do that every day. I see guardians panicking and running away. That's just the way of the bow. What I like to do is combine it with sidearms. I feel like sidearms are amazing right now. For me personally, Buzzard has been a beast. It is an absolute monster. You can melt people with this one, and it has pretty good range, actually, pretty good range. And then for the heavy, I usually go Hammerhead. I feel like out of the legendary ones, this is, for me personally, one of the best choices. I'm telling you guys, if you haven't tested this one yet, test it out. You're gonna have a lot of fun. Now, in case you don't have these weapons, Buzzard comes from the Vanguard, so you have to go to Zavala, pick up the quests, get some sidearm kills in the strikes. It's a really simple quest, to be honest. When it comes to Lemonarch, I got mine back in the Black Armory expansion. I believe now you have to pick up a quest from Ada. I might be wrong, but I remember my kid was doing this quest, so he needed to make like 10 frames or something, and then you receive this one. So yeah, I think you have to go to Ada and pick up the quest. Hammerhead also comes for the Black Armory expansion. You have to grind the forges to get this beautiful roll, the one that I have right here. But yeah, overall, if you're looking for these weapons, that's how you get them. Now, before we move on to the third setup, that is on a different character, let's talk about some of the exotics that I like to use with these setups. When I'm rocking this bow right here, Le Monarque, I always go for Oathkeepers, and there's a few reasons for that. I've actually talked about this in several videos. It just makes the bow really good, and not only that, it makes your awareness of the map way easier to control, because you have your map up at all times, even when you have your arrow fully pulled back. So that's a big plus for me. I like to know exactly where my enemies are at all times, and you always get the perfect draw, which means that the perk on this weapon will always be active, fires poison arrows on full draw and quick release. So you will always be able to poison your enemies, which is a big deal on this bow. Like, that is the main reason you're using this bow. And as you can see, of course, 100 recovery, 100 mobility. Now, when I'm using the other build that I was talking about, Revoker and Traveler's Judgment, let's say we're using Legend of Acus, doesn't really matter. I like to switch to the 6 Coyote, and then I switch my super to the Night Stalker. So I have double dodges, and it's pretty insane actually, because with 100 mobility, you get it really quick, and then you have an extra dodge, so you're gonna be invisible pretty much all the time. And that is gonna make it even more annoying for your enemies. Not only are you sniping, but now you're like dodging at all times pretty much, and you're invisible at all times. Like, that predator level of invisibility is there, ladies and gents. Another thing I also do like to do with this setup right here is use Gemini Jesters. It is really fun to use, especially in competitive, because every time you dodge, your enemy's radar just disappears, so they have no idea where you are. You can see them getting very confused. So if you do have this exotic, you can always try this one. For me personally, I feel like it really works well with this setup right here, and it's tons of fun. And before we move on to the next character, if you are a hunter main, guys, trust me, it's really worth investing the time and trying to get the perfect armor pieces in order to get 100 mobility and 100 recovery. It really does make a difference, and it really changes the way you play, in terms of you can get away out of crazy situations because you just move faster, and then recovery kicks in. It will save your life a lot, especially in competitive. So if you do have the materials, if you do have the time, I really feel like it's definitely worth it to try to get both of these stats to 100. I do have a video on how I reached these stats and how I got both of them to 100. I will put them up right here just in case you guys are interested. Ladies and gents, let me tell you, this one right here is extremely fun, because honestly, there was a time I couldn't even play anything else. That's how fun it was. Like, I was having a blast. So let's go over this real quick. I do have a full video about this where I go over the full build, what you need to do, what stats are better for this build and everything. And there is some really cool PvP footage in that video, so I'm gonna put it in the description and somewhere up here, just in case you beautiful people want to check it out. So as you can see in this slot, once again, I go for a sidearm. But the catch here, ladies and gents, is Ariana's Vow. Now, if you do have this hand cannon, this build is really strong, right? What you do is you equip Getaway Artists. This converts your arc grenade into supercharged arc souls. It does a lot of damage, right? So the whole thing here is you shoot one bullet. If it's a critical shot, it does tons of damage. I believe it's 164 damage, and then all you need is one burst of the arc souls and your enemy's done, dead. It's just an amazing build. All you have to do is land one of your shots, one bullet, ladies and gents, and then let the arc souls do the rest. You do want to have discipline at 100 because it lowers, of course, the cooldown on your grenade, which means that you're gonna have these arc souls up at all times. They are up for, I believe, around 20 seconds. So pretty much your arc souls will only be on a 12-second cooldown, right? But it gets better. Now, if you go into your super and you use your middle tree, let me find it right here. Yes, Ionic Trace. Defeating enemies has a chance to create Ionic Traces. Collecting Ionic Traces grants energy to all your abilities. And you get even more energy back, which means that your grenade is pretty much up at all times. You always have your arc souls, and as long as you have bullets in your hand cannon, you will be absolutely annihilating everyone. One shot in the head, let the arc souls do the rest. And then for the close range, you have a sidearm, but if there's anything else you want to use, maybe a pulse rifle, whatever you like to use, of course that is your choice. But I feel like Ariana's Vow has so much range that it's really not worth using anything else here than a close range weapon. And you don't want to be using a shotgun because it also takes special ammo, right? So a sidearm or a submachine gun, for me personally, is the perfect choice. Anyway, those are my favorite 3 PvP setups currently in the Season of Dawn that I really enjoy using. I feel like they're a lot of fun, so I hope you test them out. If you do, let me know how it feels. I hope you enjoy it just as much as I do. If you're enjoying the content on the channel, a like and a sub is very, very appreciated, you beautiful people, and it helps me out a lot. Thank you once again for all the support. I appreciate every single one of you, and as always, have a crazy beautiful day.